Good morning, you handsome lot. Well, it is absolutely miserable outside. Piddling down, bit windy. But however, it is Wednesday. I'm going to make this video for Sunday morning for you. Isuzu 4x4. It's silver. It's 2.7. And the customer is complaining of... it does a little bit of groundwork. And I do look after all his vehicles for him. And as he's driving, he's got his digger or a ton of sand or whatever builders or groundworks carry. The clutch is just slipping. They're about 2,500, 3,000 RPM. So we're going to be getting involved and changing the clutch in it. Right, well, I've got the vehicle up in the air, and I think the first thing is first, we're going to get some light on the job because it is dark and gloomy. Now, I've had quite a few people ask me what underbonnet light I use. Well, it is a Ring Automotive proper underbonnet headlamp. This is extendable headlamp. Underbonnet light. We'll get my words out in a minute. And all I've done is just strapped, cable tied, a 240 volt LED light to it, because even though the battery ones are good, the batteries do go flat. And the amount of time that I'm underneath the bonnet, the light always needs to be on and charges up. And we've got now maximum light all day long. We're just going to have a little look and underneath the vehicle and see what the job entails. They're not bad to do on these, to be honest with you. We've got to take this little cross member out. We're going to have to drop the vehicle back down and undo the gear linkage, the gear selector, a little bit of wiring loom, front prop. Yeah, they're not bad, honestly. They're not bad. They are big old heavy gearboxes. But yeah, let's plod on and drop it down and undo the gear stick. Oh, we've run into our first big problem. Now this is quite common. Can you see that? The clutch slave piston has worn through the clutch fork. Now, we all know that ordering parts can be a little bit of a nightmare. Before I even get involved in this vehicle, I'm going to make sure that I can get a clutch fork, because the last thing that I need is this vehicle stuck on my ramp while the parts arrive. Let's get on the phone and make some phone calls. Right, well, I can get one. And I was expecting to be about a week. But it's going to turn up tomorrow. And I was quite surprised on how cheap that clutch fork was. I think it was £50-ish, something like that. But we have got a few other little jobs on this vehicle that we can go ahead and carry on with. He is complaining of a vibration when he puts his foot on the brake, which leads me to the rear drums. So we're going to get the back brakes off and have a little look-a-rooney. Well, them rear brakes are now off. I think we found our brake jidder. We've got a wheel cylinder leaking, I think. Oh, yep, there we go. Money shot. One failed wheel cylinder. Right, everything now is ordered and it is going to be with me tomorrow. Back brakes, I haven't stripped them down yet because always wait for the new shoes to turn up. So you've got a bit of a pattern where all the springs and that go. I've ordered 2 new wheel cylinders and a set of drums as well. Just as a precaution because they are vibrating. Now, we're going to go ahead and get this gearbox out, ready for when the new clutch fork turns up, which I've got to go and pick up in the morning from Newtown, which is about 45 minutes, an hour away from the garage, but it's not a problem to get me out of the garage for a little bit, won't it? I'm going to go ahead now and get this centre console out and the gear stick. I tell you what, I feel as if I'm coming down with the flu. I've been speaking to a lot of people and I'm full of a cold, full of a flu. It's that time of the year, isn't it? When the weather changes, everybody gets a bit of the lurgy. Right, let's get the centre console out. Centre console is now removed, and there's a little tin plate that you've got to take off, soundproofing, whatever you want to call it. Now, to remove the gear stick out of the gearbox, there's 3 13mm, and make sure that it is in neutral. Now you can go ahead, and that gearbox should slide up, and just be careful, our little plastic cup doesn't fall off, you drop it, or you lose it, because that's the last thing you want to do. And then now, everything is underneath. Simple. Why can't all cars be like this? Take a little panel off and inspection cover like they used to. Brilliant in my eyes, taking little panels off of you. Unreal. Right, now with the vehicle up in the air, prop shaft's off, and what we're going to do is go around all the UJ joints and give all the threads, even on this cross member, this front one here, I'm going to give it a little bit of a squirt with some Launch Power Lube Plus and give it its best chance coming off. And we're also going to be just giving the prop shaft a little bit of a mark so we know that everything is going to line back up. Right, let's get all this off. I'm going to chuck it into a little bit of a time lapse. That is both prop shafts off. Now I've gone ahead and made a start on removing these 4 bolts for this, what do they call it, cross member. I've disconnected the wiring loom and just tucked it up over the arm out of the way, because you want that dangling and flopping around your head and getting in your way. We're going to make a start now. Before we drop this, I'm just going to make a start on getting some bolts out, removing the starter motor, the clutch, slave cylinder, little things like that. Well, I've just taken that clutch slave cylinder off, and I might be wrong about the fork having a whole bit of a hole in it. Have a little look. It has got a tapered ball. I don't know whether that's meant to poke through it as like a locating, but either way, it is elongated. I don't know whether it's meant to be elongated. I haven't got a clue. But it's getting replaced anyway. I think for the sake of the cost of it, we'll get it replaced. Right, beam is now out. I'm going to try and get some bolts up there. Massive long extension on a wobbly, and they will come out. Lovely. There's not much to see up there, it's dark. Everything is now disconnected. Now, all the bellows and bolts. Got myself a little bit of cardboard. Put them all in the pattern exactly where they come from, because some of them are different lengths and they've got nuts on the back and little brackets, you know exactly where they are. Now I have got the engine supported. I can't get me words out. I'll tell you what it is. One of them days. I'm definitely coming down with man flu, I think. We've got the Pickler gearbox support. Now, when you're doing these big gearboxes, it can be top end heavy. If you haven't got them in the right position, they can fall. And there's nothing worse than lifting them out and there's 2 or 3 of you trying to lift it out. But that is going to hold that gearbox in place. And I can just drop it down and push it out of the way. Saves lifting, because there's nothing worse than hurting your back. I tell you what, my back is in half from doing stuff like this. And anyway, let's get it out. You know what, right? I thought everything was going smoothly, but I didn't plan for taking the gearbox out on the transmission stand. I've had a little bit of a nightmare. You know, you probably don't know, but on the back of this gearbox, there's a motor which selects 4 high, 4 low, the 4-wheel drive kind of things. Well, I've had to remove it because my GAC gearbox now is nice and sturdy, ain't coming off. Can leave it there. Bit of a rocky move, to be honest. Can you see me transmission jack? See how it's butted up to the ramp? I couldn't really get it past the flywheel, the input shaft. I couldn't get it out there, so I've had to move it around and give it a jiggle and a wiggle. But anyway, it is out. I might have to just reposition the car when I've got the back wheels back on, just to make it a little bit easier when we put it in. Oh, but anyway, nothing major, is it? We've sorted it out, we've got it out, and job is a good one. With the gearbox now out of the way, we've got nothing under feet. Plenty of room. We're going to get a 12mm and get this clutch off the flywheel, and as you can see, some clutch fibres. Well, yeah, it's on its last legs, but we'll get it off. Magic, it is now off. Tell you what, they've had their money's worth out of that. That is one well and truly worn clutch. There's not much bluing. It hasn't been getting that hot, I don't think. I think because he knows when a clutch is slipping, he's not flat out on the throttle, causing it to slip. So I think as soon as he started to notice it slipping, got it in. And I think just in the nick of time. But yeah, that flywheel's going to be perfect. We give everything now a little bit of a clean up. There's a spring clutch cleaner. Right, well I have come this morning now to Newtown to pick this new clutch fork up, and it has got a hole in it, but the old one is elongated. It's a bit of a drive coming up here, or down here. Every time I've been here, I think, over the last God knows how many years, every time it has been absolutely miserable. Raining, windy. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with the place. But anyway, let's get back to the workshop.
2 hours later.
Right, well, we are back in my comfort zone, back in the workshop. Now, let's compare the new fork to the old fork. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be compared to a new fork, but it is worn. Let's get it replaced and get this new clutch, an Exceedy one, in this truck. Right, clutch is now in, all torqued up to spec. New thrust bearing, new clutch fork. Now I'm going to have to, I didn't move the vehicle back because it was just too much of a moither. What I'm going to have to do, slope that gearbox as far back, well, down as I can, and then lean the transmission jack back, hook that over, and then fish it in, if that makes sense. I hope it goes to plan. I'm not going to lie, that gearbox went in a lot easier than when it come out. Right, now we haven't got a great deal to do. We've got all the bell housing bolts. Let's put back in, starter motor, cross member. Not a lot really, but we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. I'm going to put the assembly into a little bit of a time lapse. And there you have it, everything now underneath is all back together. Now the only thing I have had to do is, on this clip here that holds the fuel pipes, it had broke down the back here, so what I had to do is just put a little bit of cable tie around it. That isn't going to cause any problems whatsoever. Now before we drop it down, I'm just going to go around, where they've gone, all the grease nipples on all the joints and just pack them full of grease. Everything underneath is now done, and I can't go any further until I get my drums, shoes and wheel cylinders. But clutch pedal is really light, which is what we like. Give it a start. As it goes in gear. Watch your speedo. Selecting gear. I'm happy with that. Where's the 4x4 thing? Has it got a 4x4 button? I don't know. Oh yeah, here we go. And also the 4x4 is selecting perfectly. Right, let's wait for these drums to turn up. I tell you what, we are making progress. I've finished one side of the brakes. Oh, bit of a nightmare. The brake pipe was seized going into the ferrule and it was twisting the pipe, so I've had to use the heat inductor and just get that ferrule a little bit warm, so it warms like the plastic coating up on the joint. And you can now, can you see it? Unwind it. We're going to go ahead now and get all the sides stripped down. New shoes, new drums, fitting kit, and also a wheel cylinder. I wouldn't say fitting kit because we're going to be using this. The springs not going to be okay. I've gone ahead and I have fitted the new shoes and the drums, but one thing I do like about these trucks is how you adjust the handbrake. There's a little rubber bung that you take out the back of the back plate and you can adjust it up through there. I don't know if you can see inside there, and you can get it absolutely perfect. But I have got Steve in the vehicle. We're going to have to bleed the brakes the old conventional way because I haven't got an adapter for the cap on this, but unfortunately, but doesn't matter, a bit of old school, is it? Let's get these brakes bled. And that is it. That vehicle is now all back together. I tell you what, it's gone awfully warm and muggy and thundery. It feels thundery, awfully sticky. Anyway, good handbrake. Feels good. Brake pedal feels good. Clutch feels unbelievably light. Probably going to take some getting used to, that is. But yeah, let's take it down the road for a little bit of a test drive and make sure the clutch ain't slipping and the brakes ain't wobbling, juddering, whatever you want to call it. You know what? I think after this job, I kind of enjoy the big, dirty, heavy jobs. I do like them. Does anybody else get involved and enjoy doing them? But this car, so a third gear pull, perfect. No clutch slipping, it's driving as it should. Apply the brakes, no judders whatsoever. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, how did you realise that it was the rear drums that were wobbling? Because when you were driving before, it's been happening for a while on this vehicle. But when you're driving along, you just pull the handbrake up, you can feel the lever doing that. So one of new drums. But anyway, the vehicle is all done. I'm happy. Sorry it's been a bit of a long video. But anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And I will definitely see you on the next video. Take it easy. Let's get it sent.